December 30th, 2006. James Brown was dying, and everyone knew it. His doctor's orders were clear. 30 minutes maximum. Your heart can't take more. James nodded, but he had other plans. 30 minutes turned into 4 hours. When James finally collapsed on stage, his final words made 20,000 people realize they'd witnessed something sacred. A goodbye. 3 days later, Christmas morning, James Brown was dead. But what happened in those 4 hours became the most powerful farewell in music history. 2 months earlier, October 2006, James Brown, 73 years old, sat in Dr. Marvin Crawford's office. "James, your heart is failing. You have maybe 6 months. What do I do?" "Rest. No performances." James looked him in the eyes. "Doc, the stage is my family. If I'm going to die, I want to die doing what I love." They compromised. One final performance. New York, New Year's Eve week. Only 30 minutes. James agreed, but he knew the truth. This was his farewell, and farewells can't be rushed. Over the next 2 months, James got weaker. His manager, Charles Bobbitt, begged him to cancel. "No," James said, "I won't let them down. I've never let them down." "But James, you might die up there." "I'd rather die in front of people who love me than alone." December 30th arrived. B.B. King Blues Club in New York. 20,000 people packed the arena. Backstage, James could barely stand. Danny Ray, his longtime announcer, was crying. "James, you don't have to do this." James looked at him with tired eyes. "I've done over 10,000 shows. This is number 10,001. It's my last chance to say thank you." At 8:47 p.m., the familiar words, "Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. James Brown." James walked out slowly. No dancing, no spinning, but when he reached that microphone, something changed. He was home. He started with "Get up off of that thing." His voice was weak at first, then grew stronger. After 30 minutes, Charles gestured from the side. "James, time, doctor's orders." James saw him, made eye contact, and kept singing. James went straight into Sex Machine. Then he spoke to the crowd. "I know y'all know I'm not well, but being here with you tonight, this is medicine. So I'm not leaving this stage for a while. Every minute up here, I feel 25 years old again." The crowd erupted emotionally. People were crying. The band looked at each other. The doctor backstage was panicking, but nobody was stopping James Brown. Not tonight. 1 hour became 2. James sang "I Gotcha." "Papa's got a brand new bag. It's a man's world." During "It's a Man's World," James forgot the words. His mind was fading. He just stood there, confused. The crowd started singing for him. 20,000 voices singing his lyrics back to him. James stood there, tears running down his face, listening. "Thank you," he whispered. "You just gave me my memory back." James went into "Please, Please, Please," the song that started his career 50 years earlier. He dropped to his knees, pleading the lyrics, but this time he didn't get back up. He stayed there, crying. Danny Ray ran out with the famous cape, but when he tried to lift James, James was too weak. The band rushed over. They helped him to his feet. The audience wasn't cheering. They were crying. "I'm okay," James said. "Just give me a minute." He sat on a stool and kept singing. Between songs, he told stories. "When I was 6 years old, shining shoes in Augusta, Georgia, I had a dream. I dreamed people would know my name." He paused. I never dreamed it would be like this. I never dreamed I'd spend my whole life doing what I love with people like you." A woman shouted, "We love you, James." James smiled. "I love you too. And when I'm gone, the music doesn't die. Music never dies. It lives in you." The arena was silent except for crying. 3.5 hours had passed. James had sung 27 songs. His voice was almost gone. Charles walked onto the stage. "James, you've done enough. Let's get you home." James shook his head. "One more. I need one more." The band started Please, Please, Please again. James's voice was barely a whisper. "Please, please, please don't go." He wasn't singing to a lover. He was singing to life itself, begging for just a little more time. When the song ended, James stood up from the stool. He took the microphone in shaking hands. "Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if I'll ever see you again, so I want to say something." 20,000 people held their breath. Thank you. Thank you for every moment. You loved me when the world said I wasn't good enough. You believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. Tears streamed down his face. I came from nothing, and you made me something. Not because of my voice, not because of my dancing, but because of your love. And I will carry that love with me wherever I go next. He looked around the arena one last time. "I love you. I love every single one of you, and I always will." James dropped the microphone. It hit the stage with a loud thud, and James collapsed. Paramedics rushed to him. They got him on a stretcher, but as they carried him off stage, James opened his eyes. He raised one shaking hand and waved to the crowd. 20,000 people stood there, crying, waving back. 3 days later, December 25th, 2006, Christmas morning, James Brown died at his home in Atlanta. Heart failure. But everyone in that arena knew James hadn't died on Christmas. He died on stage on December 30th, after giving everything he had. The 72 hours between the performance and his death were just his body catching up with what his soul already knew. Danny Ray later said, "James knew that was his last performance. He wanted to die on stage, doing what he loved, surrounded by people who loved him." And in a way, that's exactly what happened. Today, December 30th is unofficially Farewell Day among James Brown fans. They gather to watch recordings of that final performance, to remember the man who literally sang until his heart couldn't take it anymore. James Brown taught us many things, but his final lesson was the most powerful. Live doing what you love. And when it's time to say goodbye, say it with your whole heart. The final performance wasn't just a concert. It was a testament to dedication, love, and art. James Brown showed us that true artists don't retire. They give everything until there's nothing left to give. The medical team said it was a miracle he lasted 4 hours. His heart was operating at less than 30% capacity. But when you're doing what you love, surrounded by people who love you, the body finds strength the mind didn't know existed. The B.B. King Blues Club has a permanent plaque now. On this stage, December 30th, 2006, James Brown gave his final gift to the world. 4 hours, 27 songs, one eternal goodbye. The 20,000 people who were there carry it with them. They tell their children, their grandchildren, "I was there the night James Brown said goodbye." It's not a sad story. It's triumphant, because James Brown didn't fade away. He went out like a supernova, burning bright, impossible to ignore, leaving light that travels forever. If this story moved you, subscribe and hit that like button. Share this with someone who loves James Brown. Tell us in the comments, what's the most powerful goodbye you've ever witnessed? James Brown once said, "I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees." On December 30th, 2006, he died on his feet, singing, dancing, loving, and being loved. His doctor said 30 minutes or die. James Brown chose to die his way. 4 hours, every song a gift, every moment a thank you. That's not tragedy, that's triumph. That's how a legend says goodbye. James Brown, 1933 to 2006. Born in poverty, died a king, lived every second in between on stage. That's a life well lived. That's a goodbye worth remembering.